There's a reason why we're still talking about Avatar almost 15 years after the show's debut. The Avatar series and its successor Korra live in a thoroughly thought-through universe that's served as a masterclass in world-building ever since. Obviously, a show like that with an active, rabid fanbase is going to have a ton of speculation surrounding its unanswered questions. What's up, guys? I'm Kris Carr, and today we're looking at some of the best Avatar fan theories. Before we begin wildly speculating, let's give a tip of the hat to all of our sponsors on Patreon. But we want to do a special shout out to Super Nerd sponsor Charles Scheid. Thanks to heroes like Charles, I can keep on watching Avatar instead of getting what many of you have called a real job. If you want to chip in, head over to our Patreon page and see which tier works for you and your budget. We'll thank you with behind-the-scenes looks, shout-outs, and more. Not flush with cash? That's okay, me either. Liking, sharing, and subscribing remain the best ways to help out our little band of nerds. Now let's get to those theories. Sokka and Toph have a love child. Kicking off our theories with a pretty well-known one, Sokka and Toph got busy, y'all.
They missed you or something. I didn't care.
Thanks. That warms my heart.
It's obviously confirmed in the show that Toph has a big crush on Sokka, but he doesn't seem to reciprocate it. After all, Suki of the Kyoshi Warriors is his main squeeze. That being said, we really don't hear anything about Suki in the Korra series. This could imply that Suki doesn't remain in Sokka's or Team Avatar's lives for long, whether that means they broke up or Suki died a warrior's death on some Kyoshi mission.
Oh, Sokka, you saved me! Mwah! Actually, it's me.
Toph has always had that crush, so who's to say that Sokka didn't seek solace with one of his closest friends and take that relationship to the next level?
Have I ever mentioned how sweet it is that you invented metal bending?
You could stand to mention it more.
But let's be clear, Toph has 2 kids with 2 different baby daddies. Toph has mentioned that Lin's father was a man named Kanto, so is it possible that her half-sister is Captain Boomerang's? This theory supports Sokka being Suyin's dad. Sure, Suyin looks a lot like Toph, but Suyin's children look so much like their possible Pop-Pop Sokka, specifically Baatar Jr. and Huon.
5 kids, what a nightmare.
No, my children are a blessing.
Yeah, Mom used to say that too, but she never meant it.
The Fire Nation Monarchs kept it in the family. Speaking of familial relations, here's an uncomfortable theory. The first family of the Fire Nation practiced incest!
You're hilarious.
As I mentioned in my Fire Nation video, leadership of the Fire Nation operated as a monarchy. Bloodlines are pretty darn important when it comes to who sits upon the throne, and as we've seen with real-world history and Game of Thrones, sometimes these kings and queens decide to keep things in the family in order to maintain the pure, powerful bloodline. I particularly enjoy the Game of Thrones comparison. It's a lot like the Targaryens. Madness and greatness are 2 sides of the same coin. Every time a new Targaryen is born, the gods toss the coin in the air and the world holds its breath to see how it will land. You can have a sane, powerful heir, such as Iroh, and an obviously more psychotic one like Ozai. We also see this in Azula and Zuko. One crazier than a bag of cats, the other much more sane.
I know what you're gonna say. She's my sister and I should be trying to get along with her.
No, she's crazy and she needs to go down.
In real life, this obviously played out in royal lineages, such as the Russian and English monarchies, and why so many royals ended up with diseases like hemophilia. We of course know from the comics that Ozai's bride, Zuko and Azula's mother, was not a blood relative, but that doesn't rule out this practice having occurred with previous kings and queens. In fact, it's led others to find this outside the family bride as more proof that previous rulers were married to relatives. That line of thinking is based on Zuko's, at first, lackluster firebending skills. Ozai and Iroh were fairly matched, albeit Iroh was known as a superior firebender. Whereas Azula came across as a prodigy, Zuko wasn't impressing anyone. This could be perceived as a lack of a pure bloodline.
Prince Ozai, why are you wasting my time with this pump?
I'm really hoping this one isn't true, but hey, there are a lot of people who thought Azula was hot for her brother.
It's not too late for you, Zuko. You can still redeem yourself.
The kind of redemption she offers is not for you.
Appa died when Aang died because of their spiritual bond. This one makes total sense and low-key. I love it. Let's go back to the Age of Rava. Okay, fine, I won't deep dive into what I have in the past, but if you haven't caught up in all of my bending videos during the last few weeks, totally go do that. It'll be a good base to start from with what's coming up in some of these theories.
You and the Avatar's energies are mixed. You have an unbreakable bond.
Anyway, each type of bending was a gift from a certain spirit or creature, and airbending was taught to humans by the air bisons. Once we get to the last Airbender series, we think there's only one sky bison left. It's decidedly sure that can't be the case since there are more sky bisons in the legend of Korra.
We've been raising this herd of air bison since the 100-Year War. I never thought I'd be able to present one to the Avatar.
Sky bisons were the originators of airbending. Appa and Aang obviously have a deep and spiritual connection. The two are completely bonded to one another, much more than Aang and Momo. Their connection is further enhanced by the fact that Aang is the Avatar, which dives even deeper into the depths of spirituality, friendship, and connection with all life on the planet. We saw this with Avatar Roku and his dragon, so it stands to reason that Aang and his trusty air bison would be equally bonded.
I guess this means we'll always be together.
It's said that air bisons live for hundreds of years. So why, I hear you ask, would Appa die so much sooner than his lifespan expects? Heartbreak, plain and simple. These two were bonded on a spiritual level, and with Aang gone, a huge part of Appa's heart was missing. Appa just wanted to be with Aang again. Feel free to pause the video now and cry in a corner for a few minutes. I'll be here when you get back.
I missed you, buddy.
Yue gave Sokka his sword. In Season 3 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Sokka gets a sword made of meteorite. Many a fan has theorized that this sword didn't just come to Sokka all willy-nilly. It was sent from above from his Northern Water Tribe lady love, Princess Yue.
No!
You'll recall that Yue sacrificed herself to save her people and take the place of the moon spirit. So, folks believe that the moon herself sent this meteor down to Sokka to aid him and his friends on their quest.
You can make a sword out of a meteorite?
We'll make a sword unlike any other in the world.
I wonder how Suki deals with him having kind of dated the moon. That's an X literally looming over your relationship.
Is there a problem?
Yeah, I got a problem with you. I've seen your type before.
Giant energy bending turtles created the universe. If giant energy bending turtles could show Aang how to remove the ability to bend, carry whole cities on their backs, and gift people with bending, what else could they do? These beasts seem all powerful, and thus, many people have speculated that these turtles created the Avatar world itself. They brought about the universe. I mean, I guess what's the Big Bang but bent energy? This is a pretty philosophical, lofty theory, and one that definitely aligns with other creation stories. I definitely want to know your thoughts on this one though, y'all. I'm honestly not sold on it, but I'm not going to discount it. I'm definitely open to hearing more data. Is Amon the son of Ty Lee? Oh man, this could be an incredibly tricky question to answer. I mean, there's so much history involved in this world and such a tapestry of cultures and beliefs across the globe, and of course Amon is Ty Lee's son.
The spirits didn't give him the power to take people's bending away. He uses blood bending to do it. Amon is a waterbender.
Guys, to me, this is a no-brainer. The major themes of The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra are family and connection. This theory makes so much sense, the creators should just come out and say it's canon already. Look, Ty Lee was a master gymnast and contortionist, raised in the circus after running away from her home. Her abilities were amazing, but far and away, her most impressive and devastating skill was chi blocking. A very controversial and secret technique, chi blocking was practiced behind closed doors for ages and allowed anyone skilled enough to perform the ability to render enemy muscles completely useless, and, if used against a bender, temporarily disable the use of their powers. Man, Dick Grayson totally misused his time in the circus. Now we get to Amon, who has a similar ability, but turned up to 11. The masked villain is introduced early in Legend of Korra, and is seen to be staunchly, and very frequently violently, against bending of any kind. He sets himself up as some sort of prophet in Republic City to rid the world of the evils of bending. He has elaborate and secret meetings to show off his skills and rob benders of their abilities, essentially taking a part of the bender's soul away from them.
Your firebending is gone.
Of course, this all seems like the secret practice of chi blocking used for even more nefarious purposes, but not all is what it may seem. We learn as the story unfolds that Amon is actually a waterbender, trained by his father in the art of bloodbending, the darkest and most sadistic bending practice of all time. However, we never do meet his mother, do we? Clearly, based on his predilection for performance, one could easily speculate that he takes after his mom, who very well could be Ty Lee. But we also have the added layer of her not being a bender, and damn proud that she could hold her own against any other bender. Katara was supposed to be the Avatar during the show's timeline. What would have happened if Aang hadn't gone full Captain America and taken a dive under the ice with the Tesseract? I mean Appa. One theory states that Aang was never intended to be the Avatar of Last Airbender's timeline, but due to him being a nomad-sicle, his death was put off, and it was really supposed to be a powerful waterbender who was the Avatar squaring off against the Fire Nation. Which waterbender? None other than Pride of the Southern Water Tribe, Katara. This theory at least lines up with the Avatar cycle. And truly, Katara seems to be the most gifted waterbender we encounter in the series. This opens up a lot of interesting twists and turns our story could have taken, and I'm sure is a favorite among fanfiction writers. Avatar Katara? No Aang around, so Zuko Katara shippers can play out that pairing? Ooh! And now, a rapid fire of theories I personally super disagree with. Feel free to fight me on this, gang. Avatar takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. Ugh, snooze. What is this, Adventure Time? Oh, the live-action movie is an adaptation of the Avatar play done by the Ember Island Players? Nope. Not giving your dumb, terrible movie an excuse for being so dumb and terrible. Zahir was Aang's son? Yeah. The nicest guy in the universe gave up on his own kid. He didn't even give up on Ozai. Mad burn. Avatar is just the world of Pokemon in the future. What? Like the final evolution, but with less technology? No. So what, lion turtles are Torterras, and dragons are Reshiram, and badger moles are Excadrill, and Yue is a Lunatone? Oh, jog on. But I could be wrong.
Very well. You may pass.
Obviously, these are just a handful of theories, so let me know yours or any cool ones I didn't get to cover here in the comments below. Remember, they're just theories. So let's weigh in on them in the comments with the grace and dignity of an air nomad.
Somebody's a little light on his feet. What's your fighting name? The Fancy Dancer?
For more videos, you can click to the left of my face, or you can check us out on Roku or Plex. Another shout out to our sponsors on Patreon, Charles Scheid, and you for watching this video. See you, Space Cowboy.